This is 1130 WDFN AM Detroit, an iHeart radio station. We are Detroit's 1130 WDFN, The Fan.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the show participants only. Nothing stated in this program reflects the ideas, opinions, or beliefs of this radio station and or Clear Channel Radio.
Regina, the Queen of Carlos. Regina, the Queen of Carlos.
1130 WDFN AM Detroit. You're listening to the Queen of Carlone Show.
Regina, the Queen of Carlone. Regina.
Find new roads at Longhammer Chevrolet.
Good morning. Welcome to the Queen of Carlone Show featuring Regina, the Queen of Carlones. And I have a special guest. Well, actually, he's my co-host every Saturday on the show. His name is Derek Denham. Derek Denham is the Pep Star King. Welcome to the studio, Derek.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Regina. I'm very excited. Very excited.
You know what, Derek? We met, we actually grew up together, but I remember our first venture that we had together was 2 years ago when we did the Queen of Carlone show.
Right.
For WKBD.
Yeah, Channel 50.
Channel
correct.
50, yeah. And I'm excited for us to be working together on a Saturday morning, every Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Exactly. I'm so excited, and that infomercial was definitely an experience. So happy to be here with you now. Yes, thanks for having me.
This is our show is going to be a little bit more hands-on, and we're going to be talking about things coming from everywhere.
Right. Sports, cars.
You name it, we're going to talk about
the whole
it.
nine. And I'm excited. We're going to have some great guests from the sports world, whether they're preps, professional, collegiate. If people out there have kids and into sports, they definitely want to listen to the show.
They want to listen to the show. Hey, Derek, you were on the second show, but everybody knows a little bit about me because I am the Queen of Car Loans, and I do sell cars at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet and help customers get into cars with the finances.
Yes, you do.
Give us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and what you do.
Well, basically, I was born in Lincoln Park, Michigan, but most people think that's Pontiac because I was there maybe since the age of 6 years old. Have a media background, Specs Howard, Wayne State. And now I run a business called Prep Stars Video and Prep Stars News, where we help athletes get into school, give them that exposure that they may not get other hand. So that's what we try to do.
It was not what you try to do because you have a newspaper, correct, too?
We have a newspaper,
Okay.
Prep Stars News, and again, we cover the Tri-County area looking at Macomb, Wayne, and in Oakland County, I'm sorry. So we're excited about that. We've helped a lot of kids over the years, have a lot of great contacts out there, and we provide a wealth of knowledge to parents and students who need to get recruited or, again, trying to get into school. That's what we try to do.
So what we're going to do is we're going to encourage our listeners to call in every Saturday morning between 11 a.m. and noon at 248-848-1130. Again, that number is 248-848-1130 because Derek has a lot of contacts, and you want to be able to call in and ask questions.
I do. I want anybody out there that just has a question about sports, period. Whether it's myself or guests, we're here to answer those questions for you. And Regina's going to talk about the guests that we're going to have. And trust me, again, if you're a parent and you got a student athlete, you definitely want to listen to what we have going on today.
Well, you know what? Before we talk a little bit about the guest, I'm going to go a little bit backwards here. I'm going to start with our third guest. He's actually not going to talk about actually what he does, but I'm so excited to have him in the studio this morning. This is, Derek didn't want me to say this, but I am going to say it because I am the queen.
Oh, boy.
We have Derek's brother in the studio this morning, and he's going to be on our show a little bit later around, probably around 11:45, 11:40. Welcome to the studio, Pastor Denham.
Thank you, Regina. God bless you. It's a joy to be here today.
Okay. Pastor Denham is with One Touch Ministries. He's also the chaplain of the Detroit Pistons.
Whoa.
Detroit.
Yeah. Basketball. Come on, if you're going to say it right now.
Detroit basketball.
That's how it go. Yes.
All right. Well, you want to say good morning.
Well, good
Please.
morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank God for this opportunity, and just want to share with you all on today. Thank you.
Okay. right.
And Regina, I'm sorry.
Yes,
we
yes.
have to emphasize because he hates when I do this, but this is
But
my younger brother.
Okay,
so
well,
just FYI.
That's
He
your
can say
brother?
younger. As long as he
Younger
say
brother.
little. Little brother. I'm not little, but I'm his younger brother.
So you know what? I didn't know that you was Derek's younger brother.
Yes.
You
yeah.
are?
I'm Derek's younger brother.
So you're about 25.
I
Yeah,
wish.
so that'll make me, what, 28?
And I'm 12.
But yeah, I'm happy to have Brian here. And again, with what he's doing with the Pistons, it's just exciting. And just to see that he can make an impact on some of their lives is definitely something to talk about. So,
Yes, sir.
You know, it's just one of the things what we're going to share later is that the Pistons or athletes are human people, and pastors that actually take players or athletes up under their wing. Pastors are human. Athletes are human. Everybody's human.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much money you make or what you do.
that's right.
Everybody needs to seek the Lord if that's what they want.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
You know what, Derek? I'm going to put that back on you.
Uh-oh.
Would you tell us what guests we have?
Okay.
Our call-ins this morning.
Yeah, I'll
get
set it
us
up.
pumped up. Get us excited.
Okay, everybody, drum roll, please. We have Mr. Stan Edwards. Stan was a standout for the University of Michigan, running back, fullback from 1977 to 1981. Stan also played 6 years in the NFL for the Houston Oilers and the Detroit Lions. Stan is a good friend of mine. He's we call him the Speed King.
The Speed
King. Look, we got the Queen, we got a king, and another king. So Stan is the Speed King. He helps a lot of kids with their speed, which results in helping them get into school as well. So excited about Stan. And also, his son, one of his sons, happens to be Braylon Edwards. He was a former third pick in the draft, and he was played wide receiver. So Stan and his other sons, Berkeley and Bailey, are also college. One plays college football, and the other one is about to play college next year. So he has a lot of knowledge to be able to share in regards to recruiting and the college experience as well.
Well, you know what? The great thing about this, though, Derek, is that everybody's like a Michigan native. You know,
Exactly.
they're Michigan native.
Exactly.
They started playing sports. They were successful.
Right.
And they're still successful.
That's right.
You know, you don't have to. You can be in the league, retire, and still be successful.
Right.
And still be able to make it.
That's right.
And that's the reason why I know you chose Stan to be on our show.
Yeah.
As an example.
Yeah, and Stan, again, I mean, people around the country know Stan, and he's done a lot of things in the media. He used to announce the state championships every year. And again, he and I have a great relationship. He's actually like a big brother to me because I rely on him for a lot of different things and advice as well. So for our listeners, again, for those that's listening out there, please feel free when Stan comes on to call and ask questions. Again, who better to ask questions to someone that's been there and done that?
Exactly.
And had a son that was the third pick in the draft. I think Braylon was signed for maybe $28 million at the time.
$28 million.
Exactly.
But you know
and
what?
Stan will correct that when he comes on.
You know what? Let me just say this. You know, I think we put on our blog and on Facebook
Right.
that we're gonna have like the third caller call in, and we're gonna let them. They're gonna win. Well, actually, the third caller is gonna receive Red Wing tickets.
Okay. Can I win?
No, Derek. Can you stop being so selfish?
I've never been to a Red Wing game.
Oh my God! You know what? we're gonna have to change that. We're gonna get you some tickets to the Red Wings game in the future. Maybe next season or season after.
How about this season?
Okay. But then also, supposed to be our fourth caller is going to receive auto tickets. But I think that we probably need to do our first caller. What do you think?
Why don't we make him work for it a little bit, Regina? Maybe
God. He's a Leo.
Why we can't make him the third caller?
Oh my God.
Let's make them work for it. That's
God.
too easy. Whatever you want to do.
You know what?
That's
you know
fine.
what? It's our world. It's
Okay.
not what it's our world.
All right.
It's our show.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we just talk a little bit about the second guest too?
Okay.
I want to set
yeah.
this
You're
up
right.
for
I
everybody.
get it off focus. You know.
Also, we've got Sam Webb. Sam is another Michigan graduate. Sam is what I call, he's the Michigan insider. So if you're a parent and you're a recruit, Sam is that guy you want to ask the questions to because he knows everything recruiting for Michigan football. He has his own show on WTKA AM, and he just have a wealth of knowledge as well, and we're going to be happy to have him on the second segment.
But you know what? Sam Webb is the managing editor of Go Blue Wolverine magazine.
Yes.
Wow. And GoBlueWolverine.com.
Exactly.
He's a co-host of Michigan Insider.
Yes.
The morning show weekdays on Sports Talk 1050 in Ann Arbor.
You just ran it down.
Wow.
So again, this is a Go Blue day. We were supposed to have my guy Curtis Blackwell.
Go Blue, go Blue.
But Curtis, unfortunately, Coach Dan Antonio needed him to do some other things. This is a huge recruiting day around the country, and unfortunately he had to be pulled away from that. But we'll definitely get Mr. Blackwell from Michigan State, the director of football recruiting, on the show at a later date.
Okay, you know what? Looks like we have our first caller. Do we have our first caller? We have Stan on the line right now. It's a little 10 after. Let's welcome Stan to our show.
Hi, hey Derek, how are you?
Oh, Stan, how you doing?
Wait a minute. Good morning, Stan. How are you? This is Queen. Can you speak to me first before I call?
Yeah, I can. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Mr. Edwards. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on our show.
Yeah, Stan, we definitely want to do things in the right order because, you know, the queen definitely comes before the king. So thanks for cleaning that up. But, hey, man, we just so glad to have you. And for y'all that, and Regina, you didn't know this, Stan is really doing us a favor. Stan is actually on an official recruiting visit with his son at Central Michigan right now. And that's Bailey Edwards. He's a senior at Chelsea High. He plays wide receiver, and he's actually on the visit as we're speaking right now.
So
he stepped away to take this call.
He stepped away to take this call.
Yes, he did.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Mr. Stan Edwards. Appreciate that.
You're welcome, Queen, but I'll do anything for Derek Denham.
Ooh, wow. You know, that's love.
That is love.
That's love. Is love. You know what? Well, you know what? Let's get on with our interview.
The topic?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's get on.
Well, today's topic is, Stan, and again, you played in the league. You've had a son play in the league. You've coached a lot of different athletes. And I just thought it was important to start off with a very strong topic. Most people talk about, you had the 30 for 30 broke. And it's just more so, to me, it kind of, I don't want to say vilified people, but it almost poked fun at them, in my opinion. And it really didn't walk away from any solutions. I want to know, in your opinion, Stan, what's some of the things that we can assist the future generation of athletes from going broke, from your experience?
Well, just a quick comment on the 30 for 30 piece. I think, it did vilify some of the athletes, and unfortunately, most of the athletes they had on there, were athletes who came from the inner cities. Not all, but some of them were.
Right.
And there's a lot of athletes who are not from inner city who don't look like the ones they had on there. There are broke that they didn't highlight in any event moving forward. I don't believe that most of these schools have a real vested interest in these kids succeeding beyond what they can do when their eligibility is still intact once they're in the university. Mm-hmm. So the problem becomes is a lot of these athletes don't come from an environment that understands financial literacy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the power of money. They don't understand what credit and debit means. They don't understand, what savings. They don't understand a lot of things. So therefore, it becomes a combination of that and the human need for external approval, which causes people to want to have the biggest car, the biggest house, the shiniest rings, something new every time they come out of their home, and don't understand deferred gratification. So a lot of these guys spend all their money, and they assume they're going to play forever, and they don't. And they don't do the right thing as far as investing their money, the right thing as far as trusting people, right things by hiring people to invest their money. And most of them, they don't know. So a lot of times when they're picking their agents, when they're picking their financial advisors, when they're picking their business and managers and accountants, they have no idea in a pitch meeting if that person is competent or not. They have no idea. And some of the reasons that are sickening on why they chose their business manager, why they chose their financial advisor, why they chose their agent, I like the way he sounds, but he's keeping it real with me, and some of the other foolishness that goes on. But they don't have any experience, and neither do their family do either. And so therefore, it always comes that time when they go to make that purchase, and they've been out of the league, only 3 to 5 years, and that credit card gets rejected.
Well, you know what?
And in some cases, it happens while they're still playing.
Okay.
Ask Mark Brunell. He filed for bankruptcy after being in the league, and he was still in the league 13 years later.
Wow.
Sure, that's right.
You know what, Mr. St. Edwards, our topic today is what are some of the programs or steps that can be used to help professional athletes from going broke? But since you're at college right now, since you're visiting a school right now with your son, can you tell the listeners, what advice do you give your son? You preparing your son for the future? What kind of advice what have you instilled in your son that the listeners can instill in their kids?
Well, my family, I don't know if it's typical or different than that. I don't really instill anything. I just show them every day.
Oh.
I show them at the dinner table
Hands-on.
every day. This is what we do, and this is how we do it.
Wow.
I let them make their own decisions. They get invited into the family business and what we do. But if they don't want to do it, it's okay. It's okay. But every day, Carolyn and I set the tone at the dinner table of what we want for our children.
Stan, let me ask. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Stan. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just think this is important so people will have almost a guideline to the amount of money. When you played, Stan, and just say who maybe the first pick in the draft, as opposed to today, talk a little bit about the money, the difference in money, guaranteed money.
Well, I wasn't the first pick in the draft. I was the 72nd, 72 pick in the draft.
Right.
And my entire career, Braylon paid more in taxes his first year than I made my entire career. So that's the difference in the kind of money that kids make. Wow. And again, if you're not used to that kind of money, and everybody wants to upgrade their lifestyle, but it's within reason, because no one ever told them. Most of the guys who buy a G5 jet, the average buyer for a G5 jet, makes over $100 million. And you get guys who want to buy and rent G5s, and they're really only making $2 or $3 million a year. And that doesn't work that way. I mean, to understand the debt to equity ratio that you need to make certain purchases, I think most athletes cannot afford it. They just can't. And they get confused on the amount of money that they have. They don't understand the ramifications of Uncle Sam and paying taxes, and they just are not prepared. And the unfortunate part about it, when the money goes, so does everyone else, including some family members.
Right. Stan, let me ask you this. So, and I know what you said. You help instill these values, sit at the table. It happens every day. But for those that don't do it that way, Stan, what are some of the things that maybe you think the school should do? Like, for example, Malik McDowell is going to be a top pick next year. I mean, unless he gets hurt. So what should Michigan State, for example, what's some of the things they should be saying to Malik, or some of the maybe procedures or some type of program in place? Do you have any comment on that?
I absolutely believe the schools should be held accountable for helping the athletes with their financial literacy.
I agree.
Let me talk about let me talk about the families first.
Okay.
I don't think there's
Stan, do me a favor. I don't want to cut you off because I want you to get that in. We're going to take a quick break. Can you hold on for us? We come right back with you.
We appreciate that, Stan. We're going to take a break. We're going to pay a couple bills, play a couple commercials. We'll be right back on the Queen of Carolyn show with Regina, the Queen of Carolyn, and Derek Denham, the Pep Star King. Welcome back to the Queen of Carolyn show for the people. For the people means me and Derek. Welcome back to the Queen of Carolyn show, and we're going to finish up with Mr. Stan Edwards on the line. Mr. Stan?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you just finish up from where you left off?
Sure.
And we apologize for having you on hold that long.
No, that's okay. That's fine. You talked about what responsibility should the colleges have, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I had mentioned, Derek asked me to talk about that, and I had mentioned about families and what they can be responsible for. And when Derek had said, you know, some families, obviously every kid can't sit at the dinner table of Stan and Carolyn Edwards, so I get all that. But here's where I don't let anybody off the hook. You can go to YouTube State, University of Google, or Bing, or any information in any library to get any amount of information you want. We are absolutely in the information age. You can earn a degree with all the information that's online. It is out there. It is absolutely out there. If you're serious about making yourself better, you can do that. I let no one off the hook. Of sound mind and sound body, that they can't get that information to the colleges. I absolutely think the colleges should be held accountable for teaching their student athletes financial literacy. And if it has to be as elementary as learning how to balance a checkbook, then so be it. But they absolutely should be responsible. And they should take the resources to make sure that these kids understand, whether they're not just football or basketball players, they could be swimmers and folks on the lacrosse team as well. They need to understand financial literacy. Right.
But
and go ahead, I'm sorry.
But Stan, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean, when I asked the question earlier, it starts at home. You say you don't instill, but really, honestly, you do, because it can start on the high school, or goes to the college level, but it also has to start at home. And I'm trying to give you a kudos this morning, but you instilled your values at home. You know, everything starts at home, right?
Yeah, Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I said earlier when Derek said, "What is the responsibility of college?" I'm like, everybody at home can do the same thing and not rely on the college to teach their kids certain things that they can be taught, that they can teach them themselves.
Right.
There is a figure out there, and I'm going to lowball it.
Sure.
There's about $50 million that universities and colleges paid in 2015 to coaches who are not even coaching. Who are not even coaching. They have been fired or retired, whatever they're doing. They can use some of that money and help educate these kids in their financial literacy area. They really can.
What about the role, Stan, of their financial managers? Again, you played in the pros and Braylon also, and I know you all went through the process of trying to find the right person to help Braylon, I guess take care of his money. Talk a little bit about that, how important that is as well.
So let me talk about the colleges in general, coming back to your question.
Sure.
I think that colleges need to teach a course or have some kind of program to teach these kids financial literacy. I don't think the college, you're not saying this, Ted, so just let's listen to me. I don't think the colleges should be in the business of introducing these student athletes to a financial advisor, to an agent, to an accountant. Because a lot of times it's their boy. It's their business partner. It's their financial advisor. And they're just getting their friend who they happen to be a client of, just giving them business. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You need to teach these kids so they can make sound, just decisions themselves.
Right.
So when we went through the process, I mean, because it wasn't my first rodeo, I think we were a little bit ahead of the game than most people, that I understood what we needed to hear, who was going to represent Braylon as a sports agent, who was going to represent Braylon as a business manager, who was going to represent Braylon as a lawyer, who was going to represent Braylon as a financial advisor and an accountant, and so forth and so on. And so, even in that case, with the experience that we had, I still sought counsel from people that I admired and mentored me about certain decisions I was going to make. I always do that. I mean, I'll be 60 soon. I still seek counsel. I still find mentors when I have a difficult decision to find a better answer for me.
Right. Well, I think that's so important, Stan, because, again, the emphasis is always pointing out these athletes, especially the inner city athletes, and talking about the money that they made and lost. But, again, I think it's so important to try to help find solutions. That's the key.
And you know what? In other words, I want to say this: it's not too old to learn, to seek advice, to continue to seek advice. Because, Stan, you said you're almost 60, and you're still seeking advice. You're still reading. You're still educating yourself. Is that correct?
Oh, all the time. And most of and for several reasons. One, there's always good information out there. Two, one of my mentors who's in his late 70s, who's a billionaire, who says what keeps him young is learning new things every day and being around young people. And I think that was pretty sage advice for me.
Can you say that one more time? Because that's
that's very poignant. Please say that, Stan. Repeat that.
You stay young by obviously eating right and exercising, but you keep your mind sharp by trying to learn new things and being innovative and being around young people. They'll keep you young.
Wow. I think that caps it pretty good.
It does. Wow. Yes, it does. Wow. Stan, is there any advice you want to leave us with today? We're going to let you go get back to your recruiting with your son, but is there any advice you want to leave our listeners today?
Yeah. The one credo I live by. You judge a man and a woman's character by how they treat those who can't do anything for them.
Wow.
Okay. Stan, you're going to have Regina in here. Look, her eyes getting big.
You know what? Let me just say this. I am I'm a sports fan, but I'm a junior. I went to junior college. I was a junior college All-American. I was the number one rebounder in the nation back in the day, in the late 90s. I'm sorry, late.
Come on
1980s. Now. So I had the sports background, and I love basketball, but the things that are happening now, I mean, I just want to thank you for having me on our show, Mr. Edwards.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Stan,
Absolutely.
hey, look, tell Bailey, everybody say hello. Thank you so much for letting us steal you away, and we'll definitely be talking soon.
Okay.